Hello and welcome to the third video in the series of videos for Module 5, which focuses on design thinking. In this particular video we're going to discuss generating and designing, and in doing so please understand that in creating a digital solution the design process involves generating and designing as a second stage following investigating and defining. We'll draw upon design thinking approaches, curriculum, developing our increased understanding of the digital technology subject area, reference to exploring resources. In particular, we'll look at the sequence of content expectations for F to 10 in relation to generating and designing. We'll discuss some key concepts, sequence of steps, decision making, sequencing, branching, iteration, provide you with some examples to show the increasing sophistication expected from F to 2 to 9 to 10, and I'll conclude with a final word. So you can see how we've conceptualised the topics within this module. We're now looking at topic 5.3, generating and designing. The subsequent topic will look at implementing and producing, and the following topic 5.5 will discuss testing and evaluating. There are some key components in digital technologies that we need to cut through and understand. So in designing algorithms and user interfaces, which is central to generating and designing, understand that an algorithm is a step-by-step procedure required to solve a problem, and it may be described in many ways, and flowcharts are often useful in visualising an algorithm. In terms of user interfaces, they're the characteristics of the boundary between users and a computer system, and the manner in which users interact with computer hardware or software. And in software, this usually comprises fields for text and number entry, mouse pointers, buttons, and other graphical elements. In hardware, it can refer to switches, dials, and light-emitting diodes, or LEDs, which provide information about the interactions between a user and a machine. So, looking at the sequence of contents in the strand of process and production skills, you can note going from F to 2 and 3 to 4 that there's nothing provided in there. So it's important we refer back to our discussion of the expectations in the sequence of content F to 4 for investigating and defining in the previous topic. Importantly, F to 4, the expectation is that students can describe and follow and represent a sequence of steps, and that they make decisions about those steps. And notice that the order of the steps matters. As we proceed through to 5.6, we note there that students are introduced to sequencing, branching and iteration or repetition, and these form the foundational ideas expected to be developed with increasing sophistication throughout 7, 8 and 9, 10. You'll see in 9.10, for example, the algorithms are to be represented diagrammatically and in structured English or pseudocode. And there's some skills there of modifying tracing errors in given algorithms, validating algorithms through tracing and test cases. It's still largely about design, but the students need to be solving problems they've defined. And please draw upon the work which Jason has done so fabulously well in the module on systems thinking, the module on computational thinking. And as you work through the coding and robotics activities that are running in parallel with all of the modules, consider how coding and robotics activities are reflecting generating and designing that we're discussing in this particular topic. I'm going to provide some examples here. You can stop the video and read through the actual text. I'm going to move quite quickly on here to the possible examples to provide you with some practical ideas of the way in which the increasing sophistication might be represented by students. So here's an F2 example. This is a possible task example, and you can see the way in which a student might represent a response to that particular task. In 3.4, here's another practical example. I've drawn from the Digital Learning and Technology Victoria infographic around algorithms. I've provided with the URL. You can explore these a little bit more there. It's in the recommended resources that you might like to explore further. That's the way in which a year 3-4 level band might represent a possible task example, and you can compare that with the way in which an F2 might be represented. Similarly, a 5-6 example, you can read that more fully just by going to pause. The example here, the possible task example, again, compare the increasing sophistication and against the sequence of content for F10. There's a 7-8 example provided in that infographic, and I've provided the URL. I've jumped across to the 9-10 example to allow everybody to sort of see how that increasing sophistication might play out by year 9-10. And there's a possible task example. So to conclude with a final word, look, again, in terms of resources, my highly recommended resource for this particular module is the Digital Technologies Hub, Sequencing the Curriculum, and Video 5, Creating Digital Solutions, Generating and Designing Algorithms, again presented by Associate Professor James Curran, complements this particular topic extremely well. James does a superb job in, again, cutting through and helping us to develop that common shared language and understandings about generating and designing. There's an activity. We're building up towards the end of module quiz. There will be items for you drawing upon this particular video and this topic. And we're leading up to that practical example also to share with others. I value your wisdom in sharing with other teachers to help build our collective self-efficacy about a design thinking module. So look, again, thank you so much. I understand how extremely busy you are as teachers in your schools, and I value you taking the time to work with me through this particular module. Thank you so much.